There's a red light at the bottom of the stairs, and that used to be a prostitute's room back in the 30s, and she would have the light on if she was working.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Brothers of Vanishing Seattle here at The Stranger, and we're at College and Pub for their 50th anniversary celebration. This local landmark has been a gathering place for the UW and U District community since the 1970s. And it almost closed during the pandemic until longtime regulars Gonyer and Al Donohue stepped in to revive the pub and reopen it in 2021. However, they're entering into their final year, and it will close on June 15th, 2025, unless a buyer steps in to save the business.
I first started coming to the College and Pub when Al and I were dating, and that was in the very early 90s.
I started coming here in 1989. It was professors, it was staff, it was grad students, and older undergraduate students. So in 1989, it was not PBR, it was Henry's was the cheap beer.
Oh.
And it was 75 cents a pint. And the really good beer that you drank when you were feeling really rich was the Fuller's ESB, which was $2 a pint. And so you only drink that on Fridays because that gets expensive really fast. So that tells you what the beer selection was 35 years ago, and I will tell you it's a lot better now.
Yeah, change can be good, right?
Yeah, change can be good.
Yeah.
I had a couple professors as an undergraduate, and I knew if I ever wanted to find them and talk to them, I'd just come down here, and they'd be sitting at their table reading or grading papers.
That's still the case now, that grad students especially will come down specifically looking for their faculty member who's here. They just know where to find them.
Our job is to cater to the same demographic that was coming here 30 years ago, which is the grad students, the staff, the faculty who are currently here, while welcoming in the alumni.
We very much have been about welcoming everybody and having everyone feel that experience that this is their place.
Yeah, I always loved how it seemed like there was a good mix of people. Like, yes, there's a lot of UW students and staff and faculty here, but also U District residents, kind of like this mix of all sorts of people, artists, intellectuals, lowbrow folks, and it just seemed to kind of hold and embrace all of that, which I think is what made this community here feel very unique and special. It's also the building that it's in, goes back to the Alaska Yukon Pacific exhibit.
The building was built in 1909. It was an inn. This area, the basement, was dirt, and it stayed that way until the late 60s, early 70s. But at that time, you could not sell beer or wine or any other alcohol within, I think it was a half mile of the University of Washington. This building is technically on campus for the University of Washington. So they got an idea that they would get the law changed and they would build a pub in the basement. Sometime about 1974, they opened up the College and Pub. They got this state to change the law. They ran the pub for about 6 years, and then in 1980, they bought the building and they sold the business.
In July of 2020, during lockdown, and we found out that the prior owners had basically dissolved the business and walked away. And so we decided, why not? The world is already upside down. Let's see if we can actually step in and save it.
Everybody who's been the steward of the pub has continued to build upon what was there before and create the community that we have today.
I know the snug room, which we're in, there's a lot of kind of stories, some ghost stories associated with the space and with the bar in general.
We're not just talking about one entity, it's probably more than one. They mess with me the most when I am in the kitchen cooking. Whoever it is that's in there tends to knock pans off the shelf at me. Someone in this room here, he was all alone. He was doing the oil-based finish on the wood, and he was listening to Dead Kennedys, he said, really loud. His phone was basically thrown off the table and against the wall, and the music stopped. So whoever it was who's in this snug room, they definitely don't like 80s punk.
And then I think the one that I've heard about the most is Howard. Howard
Yeah.
Howard Bach. Yeah, the legend is that he was on his way up to Alaska for the gold rush and was staying at the inn, and then he died. There's so many different possible entities. Maybe if someone's really bad, they have to come down here and hang out with drunk people.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. But we do call all of them Howard.
And I remember there was a menu item. I don't know if it's still around, but it was like the Howard Special.
It was a microwaved bagel dog and a pint of PBR. The College and Pub has always been an important part of our lives. It's the beginning of our marriage. Since July 2021, down here we've had 2 weddings and we've had 2 memorials. Seeing those connections and how people are starting their lives down here and building a life with other people that they've met down here.
I mean, it sounds like family. Like you built like a family here.
A community needs its touchstones, and we call them third places, right? This could possibly be yet one more touchstone that is going to have people adrift a bit.
We'd love for someone to come in and continue the pub. We don't want to be that Seattle institution that just is gone one day and nobody knows it. One of our favorite places, Vito's, had a fire and a series of water events, and then it was just gone. And no one got a chance to say goodbye. So we didn't want to continue on business as usual up until June, and then a few weeks before say, hey, we're closed. We wanted to give people an opportunity to come back and visit.
The last day of service is going to be Sunday, June 15th, 2025, which is Father's Day, but it's also the day after UW commencement on campus. So we felt that that was an appropriate day to have, the final celebration. We can't visit the church we got married in, and we can't visit the restaurant where we met, and we can't visit a lot of places that were historically important for us personally. It's been quite a ride. It's really far different than we thought it would be, but also far more rewarding than we thought it would be.
A lot of memories.
It's
Yeah, it's a lot of memories. Well, enough of the philosophical mumbo jumbo. Come down and visit the pub one more time, maybe 2 more times, reconnect and have some great memories, and frankly, some beer that's probably better than what you were drinking when you were here before.
Cheers to that.